Hi Yippers, welcome back to Yipping Bricks. Today, we are diving into something very special, the LEGO Technic Emirates Team New Zealand AC75 Yacht. This set immediately caught my attention because it is different from the usual cars that Technic normally builds. I went into this build curious about two things. First, how will LEGO fit meaningful mechanism into such an unusual shape? And second, how close they could get to the engineering of the real AC75. My expectations are pretty high since this isn't just another car or truck, and I want to see how LEGO approach something so new. Let's take a look at the box. The color theme is spot on. It matches the livery of the New Zealand team really well, and the overall presentation feels premium. The front of the box also lines up nicely with the real yacht's proportion. On the back, I kinda wish LEGO gave us more. There are images of the mechanism and the model, but there are no pictures of the actual AC75, which would have helped set the scene a lot better. The instruction book includes some specs about the real yacht. I did get slightly confused with the specs because I wrongly assumed that they were for the model, since all the images shown are of the model rather than the real yacht. Bag 1 builds the core of the boat hull, the stand, and some pneumatic mechanisms. Despite being the first bag, this bag feels surprisingly complex. The stand is surprisingly solid because the designers added a crossbar for better stability and added tiny feet underneath so the model doesn't slide around, which shows a great attention to detail. Mechanically, this bag builds the pneumatic pump crank and two pneumatic switches, one for each hydrofoil. These switches are extended down into the stand for easy access since the main switching block gets buried later. The pump crank feels super smooth and is actually quite addictive. I keep finding myself cranking the pump just to play with it. The only real issue in this bag is connecting these tiny pneumatic hoses. They are very small and hard to grip, making it very hard to connect. But this is necessary so the system doesn't leak any air. Bag 2 expands the hull and builds the boom for the mainsail. The instructions are clear, though the mainsail boom feels a little fragile for now because it's only held on by a single axle. There is a very fun surprise in the bag. The designers added gearing that makes little connector blocks spin when pumping the pneumatic system. These represent the grinders, who are athletes that pedal to build hydraulic pressure in the real yacht. It's a very cute detail, and I really do appreciate it when designers put effort into adding these little Easter eggs for us. In Bag 3, we attach the actuators, build the hydrofoils, and start shaping the sides of the yacht. Again, connecting the pneumatic hoses is difficult. I find using a clipper to pinch the hoses helps a ton to prevent the hoses from slipping in my hand. The hydrofoils themselves are quite light since they need to be moved by the pneumatic actuators, which are not very strong. Slight issue I have with the hydrofoils is that it is very laggy. It is not responsive to the cranking of the pneumatic pump. The hydrofoils tend to not move before dropping all at once, and the retraction is slow due to how weak the actuators are. Still, I think the hydrofoils are fun to operate even if it is not very responsive. Let's see how the pneumatic system works. The system's energy comes from the pneumatic pump. Pressure builds in the pump when I crank the gear, and this pressure can then be directed into different areas of the actuator by using the switches, allowing the actuator to either extend or retract. Bag 4 adds more bodywork and introduces the mainsail winch system. I think the designers did something really smart by using rubber bands to simulate the winching tension instead of using gears. This solution feels elegant and keeps the mechanism responsive without overcomplicating the mechanism. It also has the added benefit of making the mechanism more realistic. Bag 5 builds the mast, spreaders, shroud, and forestay, which are all part of the rig structure. The mast starts off very fragile, but once the tension string, also known as the shroud, are attached, the entire assembly becomes surprisingly sturdy. I think they did an excellent job capturing the real yacht's rig structure. Back 6 adds the mainsail, front sail, and the front sail winch system. I like how the designers connect the sails using tiny Technic pins. I am pleasantly surprised that the pins hold the sail in place quite well. The way the sails attach to the mast and the forestay is also very similar to the real yacht. The front sail winch system is quite clunky. You have to adjust these two winch barrels, then nudge the sail for it to snap fully left or right. I might be doing something wrong since I don't think the mechanism should need so many steps for it to work. If anyone knows a better way, let me know in the comments below. And with that, we are done with the build. Let's see what the model can do. First, we have the pneumatic powered hydrofoils. The pneumatic system is also connected to spinning athletic grinders as you crank the pneumatic pump. Next, we have the movable front sail with the winch barrels that snaps into place. Lastly, we have a movable mainsail with rubber bands winch system. In conclusion, this is what I grade this set as. The full grading criteria is in the description. All in all, I think that this is an outstanding display model. The proportions are accurate, the color scheme and the details on every part of the model from the sails to the hydrofoils really matches the real AC75 very well. The model also packs a lot of interesting mechanical system given its size and price. It's really refreshing to see LEGO try something new instead of its usual cars and trucks. However, there are a couple of minor weak points. The front sail winch is a little clunky to control, and the hydrofoil retraction is noticeably slow due to the pneumatic actuators. Despite these minor flaws, I think this set still really stands out from LEGO's usual model. If you're a fan of sailing or the America's Cup, this set is a must-have. For Technic fans, you will still find plenty of mechanism here to keep your technical mind satisfied. And with that, we have come to the end of the review for the Emirates Yacht set. Drop a like if you like the video and subscribe if you want to see more of these reviews. Thanks for watching again. See you in the next one.